What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to talk to you about why I quit the cargo van business after just 6 months and after losing about 16K. Now, before we begin, I want to take the time to explain why I decided to get to the cargo van business to begin with. So, I was on a job that I really disliked, so to speak. I knew the end was kind of near, so I said, you know what do I want to do next? Now, I have been following all these YouTubers in the cargo van business, guys like CJ, DK, those who are familiar with those videos and their content, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? So, about 2 months before I left my job, I went out and I bought my first cargo van, okay? Now, this is actually where my first mistake took place. My first cargo van was a 2019 Ford Transit 250, and you're probably thinking, oh, that sounds great. That sounds like the perfect choice for a cargo van. Wrong. I chose a low roof. Womp womp. I know. So I chose a low roof van. It didn't hinder me from getting any work or getting any jobs done, but it did kind of put a cap or limit on what I could do. Okay. And to explain that pretty quickly, those who know a little bit about the cargo van business, you want to have a medium roof or a high roof to get the most earning potential. All right. So got my first van. All right. So the easiest way to get going, to get started in the cargo van business, is through gig work. Okay. So before you land that first major contract, just get your feet wet. There's a lot of apps that you can download, get signed up for, such as Freight, Curry, Bungie. There's one called Fero. There's one called Dispatcher, something like that. Not every platform will be available in your area. Okay, I'm in the Houston market, so right off the bat, I was able to get on with Freight and Curry. Bungie still has me waitlisted to this day. Roadie, I've been waitlisted for years. Even when I was just trying to do some gig work out of my car, like Roadie will not let me in. I don't know what it is about Roadie. Something funny with duplicate accounts or something. I don't know. I don't have duplicate accounts, but whatever they say, I gave up. Their customer service sucks, right? I can make a whole separate video on how bad Roadie's customer service is. Not to get too far off the point. Gig work, right? So the gig work that I pretty much have consistently is Curry, Freight, and Amazon Flex. Okay, now you don't need a cargo van for Amazon or Freight. You may not even need one for Curry, but I would say it's highly recommended because most of those jobs are like construction. You're picking up pallets of bricks from one place and driving to another city. Now, here's the problem with gig work. Okay, it's not consistent. All right, and even the ones that pay really well, like Curry, for example, Curry may pay you a couple $100 to take a 2-hour drive to the next city over, but it may only happen once or twice a week. So what I found myself doing was like waking up at 3 a.m. doing 2 Amazon Flex shifts back to back. You can knock those out really quickly. Like a 3-hour shift, you can probably get done in like 2 hours, right? And they'll probably pay you anywhere from $80 to $90 for it in this area first thing in the morning. So I can wake up at maybe 2 a.m., be at the warehouse at 3 a.m., be done with my first shift by maybe 5 to 6 a.m. All right, go get another Amazon Flex shift for another 3 hours or so. If you can do them back to back, you'll make like $150, $160 in a span of like 6 hours. All right, now you got the rest of the day to make whatever else you need to make to hit your goal. For me, 300 was kind of my goal and to begin with. So then I was logged on to a company called Diligent Delivery Systems. This is kind of the first contract that I got. It's really the second, but the first one was so bad, I don't even count it. All right. So now let's talk about Diligent Delivery Systems. So Diligent Delivery Systems was a pretty good place to start. It's a hot shot contract. They don't require you to have cargo, commercial insurance, right? I'll explain a little bit later on in the video about commercial insurance and why I didn't opt to get it from the beginning, which is really because it's really expensive. Now, so Diligent, they don't need commercial insurance, just regular insurance. It's all they really need. They're kind of real laid back. They kind of don't really care. As long as you get the stuff from point A to point B in a timely manner, right? So what they do is you sign on at like 7, 8 a.m., whatever time you want to really. The earlier the better, right? You get more jobs. and they'll force feed you jobs throughout the day. So again, me being in the Houston area, you know, I live far off and like on like the northwest quadrant. Like I'm like maybe 45 minutes northwest of Houston. So they'll send jobs to your phone. It'll say like, hey, go pick up at this but this oil and gas company in the Woodlands, and take it up to Conroe, Texas. All right. Then when you get to Conroe, Texas, they'll have another job for you waiting. They'll be like, okay, take this from Conroe all the way down to Pasadena, Texas. But on your way to Pasadena, stop by in North Houston, grab this, because this is also going to Galena Park, which is over on that southeast side as well. So they kind of structure it to where like they want you to get a lot of stuff on your van that's all going the same direction. That's how you make your money. Slow days, you may be waiting an hour or so in between jobs, maybe a little less. Or maybe it just stops early altogether. These orders typically run from like the time you log on to like maybe you may get your last order between 3 and 4 p.m. and you might drop it off between 4 or 5 p.m. and then that's it. After that point, you ain't gonna get no more orders. It's time to go home. Now, one of the bad things about Diligent was me living on the far northwest quadrant of the Houston area, like I mentioned. You might finish down on the opposite end on the southeast side near Galveston. It'll take me 2 hours to get home, all in the same city, rush hour traffic, right? So, but that's neither here nor there, right? So I'm doing local work. I'm making anywhere from 150 to 250-ish a day. 250 being a bit of a stretch, 150 being a really bad day, okay? Still not quite happy with that daily, but again, remember, I'm starting off in the morning doing Amazon Flex. So I'm starting at like 3 a.m. with Amazon Flex, making like $150. Then I'm doing Diligent, making like another $200. I'm doing like $350 a day. So it's good money, but I'm working all day. Remember, I started at 3 a.m. and I'm not, 6 o'clock in the evening, So I'm telling my wife, I'm like, man, this is not gonna work. I'm super tired. I'm like, I gotta find something else. So fast forward to I found this posting on Indeed about a company called Wiser. Now, let me tell you how my experience with Wiser went and where I made my second mistake in the cargo van business. So shortly after signing on with the Diligent contract, I found a job posting for a company called Wiser. Okay, some of you may be familiar with Wiser, heard of Wiser. Wiser is, I don't want to call them a pharmaceuticals company, but they're like, let's just call them a logistics company that works in the pharmaceuticals realm of delivery services, right? So Wiser gets contracts for pharmaceutical companies like McKesson. McKesson was the one that contract they had in Houston. So what we do is we will report to the McKesson warehouse, pick up the drugs, then bring the drugs to your CVS's, your Walgreens, your HEBs for those who are familiar with Texas, Walmart, local hospitals, clinics, things like that. So that's what we were doing at Wiser. So I meet up with this guy. I get signed up with him. He gives me a route starting off that only pays $190. Now, that's not great, right? But it's I saw the potential because as I was sitting there signing up with him, there was an older Hispanic gentleman who had it might have been his whole family. I don't know if it was friends or his family, but he had about 6 other Hispanic folks, and he was signing them all up at the same time, right? He has like 6 vans and 6 drivers, okay? So the guy that's signing me up, he points and he goes, see, that's how you do it. That's how you make your money in this business. That guy right there, he's got 6 vans. He's signed up 6 drivers, right? He's going to pay each one of them a little bit of money to drive, and he's going to collect off all 6 of those routes. So at that moment, I'm like, ding, hello, we here. We found the key to unlock the cargo van business, right? So now I've got a little bit of money put away. I could handle going and get a second van, right? Mistake number 2. So let me tell you about this, man. The guy promised me, he's actually showing me routes. He's showing me routes that are paying $600 a day. I kid you not, $500 a day, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm a new guy, so I got to start off with a little small route paying $190 a day. Now he tells me it only takes like 7 hours to complete these routes, all right? So I'm like, cool, that'll be a guaranteed 190. Then I'll get a second van. I already got somebody in mind that I could have as a driver, right? So I bring my homie into the mix, right? So my homeboy Derek, you know, I bring him on, get him signed up. I even had my wife signed up as a backup driver, just in case one of us went down, out of town, ill, whatever. So we fast forward to like middle of October. This was the launch date, just because this was a new thing, the operation they were launching in Houston. So I'm out there trying to find a second van. I literally found a second van 2 days before the launch date, right? It was the Saturday before the Monday that we launched. So this time I learned from my past mistake. I got a Ford Transit 250 medium roof, okay? Now both of my vans are used, okay? I want to get this out the way because I didn't mention this early in the video. My first van, I financed about 20 grand, and I paid about right at 400 a month for that van, okay? Now the second van, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do 2 vans for 5 years, right? So I got another used van. The first van had about 69,000 miles when I bought it, so great condition, right? The second van had 131,000 miles when I bought it. That sounds bad, but to those that know cargo vans, that's actually like nothing, right? These things are good for well over 350,000 miles. So I get the second van. I actually put 8 grand down, okay? So let's start doing the math at this point. I don't remember if I put money down for the first van. I believe I did. I think I maybe put 2,000 down. I think, not sure. Either way, got the first van. Let's just say no money down, right? Second van, I put 8,000 down. So now we 8,000 in the hole, okay? So anyway, we show up Monday morning. I called him. Sunday, I called him. I said, hey, you know, my guy, hey, we got a van, got a second van. My drive's ready to go. We'll see you Monday morning. Great. So Monday morning, I had another route. He gave me another route for my driver. So now I got 2 routes. Now I'm sorry, I gave some misinformation early in the video. My first route paid $220. The second route paid $190. Okay, so we had about a little over $400 a day, right? But remember, I gotta pay my driver a cut, right? So I gotta be fair to my driver. So my driver, I decided to pay him a $150 a week, right? I'm sorry, $150 a day. $150 a day, and then I kept 40 off of the route. Okay, so out of that 190, I kept 40. So I'm making $40 on that route each day. That was the plan. So, and then he would pay a weekly fee to me of $100 to rent the van from me. Okay, so he made little money. I made little money. That's how we're gonna do it. And then as we get bigger routes, you know, the money will go up. Right, that was the goal. So day 1 of Wiser. They told us, come on in at 4 a.m., right? Which is early as hell, because the first hospital ain't even ready for delivery until 7 a.m. They say, hey, this is trial period. We got to make sure everything goes smooth the first couple of days. Coming at 4 a.m., we get our routes together, and then, you know, you head out early. You may get to your spot a little early. You have to sit and wait. That's fine. So 4 a.m., they're like, okay, the line haul's coming in. We need everybody to get the pallets off as they come off the trailer and break them down, separate them. Like, whoa. You doing warehouse work? I'm a driver. I didn't get to the cargo van business to be doing warehouse work, right? That was the first kind of red flag right there. So, you know, my friend, he a little bit older than me. So, you know, it's kicking my butt. So I know it's kicking his butt. So I'm like, damn, man, it's a lot of work. I'm like, man, it'll get better. This is a new operation, right? So we spend about 3 hours in the warehouse doing warehouse work that first day. By the time we hit our routes, we already sweating. Not to mention, now mind you, my second van, like I said, is a Ford Transit extended with the medium roof. So extended wheelbase is long with the medium roof. Man, they gave me so much stuff to put on that van, it didn't even all fit. So we ended up having to use both vans for just one route, but they still paid us like we ran both routes. It was crazy. Long story short, we were working for 16 hours that first day. 16 hours for $200. Okay, so me not being a person that likes to give up easy, I'm thinking, okay, let's try this again tomorrow. Let's see if it gets any better tomorrow. So next day, it was a little bit better. Okay, we put in 14 hours. 16 and 14. We had 30 hours in 2 days, and we only made $400. No. So needless to say, I ain't do Wiser a day after that. I shut it down. I took my drive off, said, look, man, we done. This ain't what we signed up for, right? So now I got the dilemma of having 2 vans, no contracts. Now I left the diligent contract. I was able to still go back to it, but again, they don't pay enough for you to bring on a driver, and so I'm like, let me just go back to the drawing board. All right, so that brings me to my next phase of the cargo van business, right? Because I'm constantly like reinventing myself. What am I gonna do about this second van? How am I gonna keep this second van turning profit? Because now I got 2 monthly van payments. All right, so we got this dilemma of now having 2 vans. So my driver's out at this point. He's like, man, why is it kicking my butt so bad? I'm good, bro. Because I was actually gonna try to bring him on to diligent account, make that work. But he's like, nah, man, look, if you figure it out, give me a call. Like, I'd love to, work something out with you, but like right now, I'm just gonna go back to what I'm doing. So there was a lady, this nice lady I met from the Wiser contract. They kind of screwed her over too. They gave her a route that was way too big for her van. She had a tiny van. She had one of those Ram ProMaster City Connect. I think that's what it is. And so her van really couldn't even hold anything. So they messed up on that. They told her she had to get a bigger van or she'd lose the route. All right. So one thing about me, I'm big on networking, especially when you're doing something like this. So I got everybody's number because I knew I was about to burn off. Like, look, you figure something out, man. You call me. I'll figure something out. I call you. So she calls me, and we just kind of chopping it up. Hey, how you doing? What you got going on? You figure anything out? Like, man, I'm in bad shape because now I got this second van. You know what I mean? So she was like, well, and she was cool people. She was from my hometown. I'm from NOLA. So she said, well, I can maybe help you out if you help me out. So I'm like, man, talk to me. So again, she was a cooler older chick, so I didn't really feel like she would play me or mess over me, nothing like that. So I took a chance on her. So she's like, well, look, you want to rent out that van? So I'm like, hell yeah. So I said, I tell you what, man, we could make it happen today. So I said, man, give me an hour. So I'm gonna go type up a little contract. And you meet me at my crib. You can, sign and drive, basically, right? So, man, I showed her love, man. I ain't gonna drop her name because the story don't end well, right? And I wish her the best wherever she's at. Sweet lady. She's probably just going through something. So anyway, she comes over, sign an agreement. The agreement was $125 a week for the van. That was it. Cause at this point, I'm just trying to, the payment on that first van was $408. I'm just trying to break even, right? Even though you're really losing, cause you factor in maintenance and miles and all the stuff, tires, right? So I'm like, man, you give me $125 a week. You could ride as long as you need to, right? In the agreement, and I had a clause where if I need to end the agreement, I just have to give her 7 days notice so she can make her arrangements to find another vehicle, do whatever she gotta do so it don't mess over her. On her end, if she wants to end the contract, she 7 days in advance. So you pay me for the upcoming week and then turn it in, whatever. Which, to be honest, if she wanted to just bring me the van back, I wouldn't even really held her to that. It is what it is. So she did good for a couple of weeks. Then the payment started coming in kind of late, right? So this brings us to Thanksgiving, right? So it's Thanksgiving. So it was Thanksgiving on a Thursday. She was paying me every Monday. That was just our day. I think she came and got the van on the Monday, so we just kept the payments going every Monday. So I'm kind of like, hey, Miss So and So, I ain't got your payment yet. What's good? We on a 7-day schedule, so you can't be too many days late because now you just gonna pile up on you, right? So it's Thanksgiving Day. I'm like, I ain't gonna bother her on Thanksgiving Day, right? So Black Friday morning, I call. I'm like, hey, Miss So and So. I'm like, for I'm just gonna call her Trinice. You know what I'm saying, for video purposes. So Miss Trinice, when can I get the payment? You told me Wednesday. It's Friday. I ain't got nothing yet. So she stalled me out again. So, I'm leaving New Orleans right now. I'm gonna send it to you as soon as I get back home, right? Saturday morning. no payment. Sunday morning, no payment. I ain't gonna keep, I'm the type of person, I ain't gonna keep blowing you up. I'm just gonna take action. You know what I mean? So Sunday morning, I get ready for church. I'm thinking to myself, man, today gonna be her last day in that van. Now I hit her up one more time Sunday morning. Good morning, Miss Trinice. Hey, look, I ain't got the payment yet. Like tomorrow, you know, you do again. So like, I need payment ASAP, right? I'm starting to like put a little more firmness to it. You know, being respectful, but hey, I need my money. I ain't threatening her. I don't do that. You know, I mean, that's somebody's mama. You know what I'm saying? I don't treat people like that. So I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I get out of church at about noon. If I don't have my money in my account by noon, I'm gonna report the van. So little did she know, the van had low jack on it. It came with a low jack installed when I bought it. So I'm looking at the app, I'm like, man, why is the van parked by the Wiser warehouse when normally she keep it parked in her crib, right? So I'm like, okay, well, here's the bad part, I only had one key for the van. So I had tried to get a spare made, it was a whole process, whatever. So I said, man, after church, just go drive to the van. Like, just go drive to it. And if you gotta, you know, I was thinking crazy, break into it, call somebody, get it towed to a dealership, make a new key, whatever. I was like, man, you figure it out when you get there. I get to the van, I walk up to the van, and something just say, man, just try to open the door, bro. So I pull the handle, the door wide open. I'm like, she left it unlocked? I'm thinking she left it unlocked, the keys gotta be there. Lo and behold, the keys in the cup holder. So maybe they left my van unsecured with the keys in it, right? I don't know if she was trying to hide it from me or if she was pimping my van out to somebody else, which is even worse. So now I got the key, which I'm glad it went this way because I didn't have to call no tow truck, I had to damage nothing. I got in the van, drove off, parked the van somewhere far, Ubered back to my Audi, hopped in my Audi. I think I called my wife. She had her mama, my mother-in-law, drop her off. She drove the Audi home. I drove the van home, right? So now we back to square one. 2 vans, essentially no work. It's out there, right? Remember, I'm only making like $200, $300 a day, like maybe $350 if I just work all day. But I'm tired. It's not sustainable, right? Brings me to my next phase of this video. I landed a contract with a company. I'm just gonna tell you now, this one didn't go well at all. This one ended terribly bad. So for the purposes of this video, again, I ain't trying to get sued. We gonna call this company Shark LLC. All right. Their logo is a shark. Shark LLC. All right. I actually should have known something when I saw they had a shark for a logo. All right. But whatever. I ain't gonna drop their real name. So I'll explain to you exactly what went wrong with this Shark LLC contract. Okay, so we done tried gig work, we done tried diligent delivery, we done tried Wiser and added an additional van, we done tried renting out the van. So now we here, new contract, Shark LLC. I get hit up from a guy, not gonna disclose his name. I guess for the purpose of the video, we'll call him Dickie. All right. So you probably wondering where the hell I pulled that from, but we'll go with Dickie. So talk to Dickie. He hit me up and said, yeah, you know, Ray, we got your application off Indeed, and I just want to touch base with you, man, about this new operation that we starting up. We got a warehouse in Brookshire, Texas. Brookshire, Texas is west of Katy, in case anybody is wondering. I'm just outside of Houston. So he's like, yeah, man, you know, we paying fair rates. You're gonna be doing bulky and large package delivery. Okay, so this stuff is like up to 100 pounds, right, per item. So he's like, you know, we're paying $8 a stop, right? I know it doesn't sound like much, but here's the thing: you're gonna have about 50 stops in one little area of the city, right? So I'm like, okay, so you're doing 50 times 8. Oh, okay, that's decent. You might make about $400 something a day, something like that, right? So I was like, yeah, man, sign me up. So he's like, okay, Mr. Butler, cool. I'll get you signed up, man. You can start working tomorrow, right? So he's like, He give me a route. He hit me up the next morning. Hey, you know, I got a route that pays you, you know, 360, right? So not as many stops, but you know, $8 a stop. So I'm like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Now he tells me these routes take 7 to 8 hours to complete. So I'm like, man, if I could do 360 in 7 to 8 hours, that's better than doing 350 in 15 hours, right? So take the route. Now I pull up to the warehouse. It's all Asian folks. Okay, got nothing against my Asian brothers and sisters. Love them, good people. Mr. Lee, shout out to my boy Mr. Lee, wherever you at. You know, I need to call you, man. Call me. You see this video. So I'm like, man, what's up with this operation? Like something's off, right? You know, but I show up. It's Wiser all over again. Packaging everywhere, man. So a little Asian girl comes to me. She's like, I'm like, man, I ain't signed up for this, man. I ain't finna be doing warehouse work. She's like, well, you can just help us, you know, find your packages, you know, and then load your van. You can get and be on your way. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. So I'm a man of my word. I showed up. I'm out gonna get the job done, man. Long story short, first day I was out there like 11 hours, man. I got home. It's nighttime because he hit me kind of late in the morning. So then I had to drive an hour to Brookshire, Texas. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do this again, right? You know, this is some serious physical labor, man. I'm telling my wife, man, I can't do this again. Well, he hit me up the next day. Phone always ringing when you record, man. But you know what though? We keep it real. We keep it raw. Let me take this call from Moms, and I'll be right back with y'all. Hey, Mom, y'all, important call from Moms. Ain't nothing more important than that. So, back where I left off at. So, lo and behold, I'm tired after that first shift. So you know what? I could do this again. So I just kept coming back every day. You know, I got Rouse paying $400 something. You know, I'm just like, you know what? This gonna be the most money I done made since I've been in the cargo van business. So I might as well just stick with it, right? So we gonna speed the story up because it's getting kind of lengthy here. Couple weeks go by, get the first payment. First payment is prompt. It's on time. He Zelled it to me, right? So it's in my bank account. Nice big fat payment. It's there 6:30 a.m. and 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. So I'm like, man, okay, this is legit, right? So next week go by, payment a few hours late, still hit Friday, all the money's there, all right? Next week go by, no payment to be found. So all the drivers hitting me up like, man, yo, you got paid yet? Nah, I ain't get paid yet. So he drops a group message. Him and his wife dropped a group message in the WhatsApp. I already know. WhatsApp, red flag, right? How did I not see this coming? Sorry guys, payment gonna be a little late. You know, our shipper hadn't paid us yet. Blase, whoop-de-whoop, holidays, you know, because at this point we're around Christmas and New Year's and stuff. So as soon as we get the payment, we'll make sure everybody gets dispersed immediately, right? So, but I'm seeing holes in their story because their story keep changing, right? Long story short, payment finally hit the following Tuesday, right? So all is well, we got paid, keep on working, keep on running, right? So Friday come around again, no payment to be found. Next Friday come, no payment to be found. So now we 2 weeks behind on payment and they already pay you 2 weeks in arrear, okay? This point, they owe me about 3-4 checks. Also, during this time frame, they kind of promoted me up to a higher, like a senior driver position. So I'm really getting $10 a box. Plot to mention, second van, I bought a driver onto the contract, right? So I'm paying my driver out of pocket for his routes, you know, while I'm still waiting on my money for mine and his routes, right? His routes. So I'm kind of behind, funds getting tight. You know, I'm dishing out for fuel every day on my fuel cards, but I got to pay that back on the credit cards. So our money finally come through after them stalling us and telling us all kind of different stories for weeks. Our money finally come through that following Tuesday. So it's like over 2 weeks late at this point. But they paid us for 2 weeks. So they kind of caught us up, okay? Now, so now I got a decision to make, all right? Because this thing started to get a little sketchy, man. Like, a couple of the drivers and myself, we kind of backdoored to the final mile company who this guy had a contract with and say, hey, look, this guy not paying us, he's not taking care of us. This is why we was waiting on that last payment. The last payment was 2 weeks behind. You know, can we just bypass the middleman and get on board with you guys? So that didn't happen. But here's what I think did happen. I think they went back and told him that your drivers are calling us we don't want to deal with that. That's why we hired you as a carrier to provide delivery service for us. So, long story short, a couple days later, they kicked me out the app. All of my permissions were revoked. I actually had access on the back end to see all the routes and assign routes to drivers and whatnot, and they just kicked me out. They kicked me and a few other drivers out, and they never paid me the money they owed me. Never got it, right? So now we're back to square one again. I got scammed essentially by this company, so they probably owe me. The work started getting real light after the holiday season, so they probably owe me about three grand or so for the last couple of weeks. Because I had actually stopped working for them altogether when things got a little sketchy. So I never got that 3 grand, right? Now at this point, I'm about 5-6 months into cargo van business. I'm just over it because everything was so bad. Now you might be asking, why didn't I decide to go over the road? Because you can make a little extra money over the road. Couple reasons. I'll give you reason number one. I didn't want to go over the road because one, I have a 1-year-old son. I'm sitting in a brand new house right now. My house I ain't even been here 2 years yet, right? I love my house. Like, I never leave my house. I'm a homebody. Everything I want is right here in this house. I don't really like leaving the house. I damn sure ain't finna leave the house, go live out of town, not live out of town, sorry. Be out of town for days at a time, whatnot. So I'm like, I don't want to go over the road. I don't want to be away from my son. I just don't want to live like that, right? And plus, my van's used. It already got 130,000 miles, so I'd rather stay local, right? So I didn't go that avenue at all. It's not an option for me. And then commercial insurance, right? That's typically required when you're going over the road anyway. It's too expensive. Like, if I got to pay $1,000 a month for commercial insurance, what's the point of even doing this, So I made the decision to sell my second van, okay? During this process, I took an $8,000 loss. My van, I only have a couple months. I still owed like $22,000 on it, and it was only worth $14,000. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna cut my losses, come out of pocket 8 G's, take the van away. No repo, don't hurt my credit. So I put $8,000 on the second van, and I sold the first van for $8 grand loser. I'm down negative 16 grand. There's not even to mention the 3 grand that they did not pay me for my final weeks of work. That's like another 3 grand. So now we like 19. I'm almost 20,000 in the hole. Not to mention, when you buy these cargo vans, you gotta kind of fix them up to get them ready for work. You gotta put E-tracks on them. You gotta put the partition between the driver area and the cargo area. Like, you gotta put floors down. If you just got a metal floor, you can't have stuff sliding around. You gotta buy straps. It's a whole bunch of stuff you gotta do for these vans. So, I'm all in all, I lost about 20 G's. Now, in that time frame, yes, I made some income. But here's the thing. I would have been better off after leaving my job. I would have been better off just staying at home while looking for a new opportunity and maybe just doing Uber out of my car. Then going out and getting into this cargo van business and losing all this money. Now, yes, I did not need to go and buy a second van, right? But I saw potential. I gambled on myself. I betted on me, so I don't regret that. But here's what I will tell you. If you are contemplating going into the cargo van business, simply put, don't do it. It's not worth it. I feel like a lot of these YouTubers on here are not telling the whole story. I don't want to say they lying, but they're not telling the whole story. Like, people like to say things like, oh yeah, I was making, $300, $400 a day. Man, what did it cost you in fuel? Because the full tank's $50. And gas is cheap in Texas. I don't know where you live, but gas cheap in Texas. You're going to put 50 in the tank. You know what I mean? So, are you really making what you're saying you're making? A lot of these guys paying commercial insurance. $800 to $1,000 a month for $1 million policy. If you're lucky. I've seen some higher than that. So maintenance. I done bought tires for each van already because the amount of miles and frequency, how often you driving. So I didn't really make any money in the cargo van business at all. Like, it was really bad. So that's my story on how I pretty much quit the cargo van business in 6 months and lost, I say 16K, I really lost about 20K. At this time, I'm still looking for a new job, new opportunity. So I still have my second van that I purchased, and I am still doing a little work here and there with diligence to keep me afloat, but my exit will be very, very near. I just had a regional, I had an interview for a corporate position with a major retailer, so wish me luck on that. Hopefully I hear back real soon from that. Ironically enough, it will be a traveling job, but I'm super excited about it. So if I get that, hopefully I get that, fingers crossed, praise to God, I will be done. I'll probably even sell that second van. And this one won't be a loss any more than I've already lost because I only owe like $12,000 on it. I'm expecting I could probably get $12,000 for it by selling it. So that's my story. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry if it ran a little long, but as you can see, it was a lot compacted into that 5 or 6 month time frame. I don't want people to go out there and make the mistakes I made. I already made them for you. So just figure out something else. Cargo van business is dead. It is dead. This is going to be a new channel for me. I don't think it's going to be based on the cargo van business because I'm out. I'm out real soon. But I do want to make a channel just based on like telling my story about, just certain life things. So I probably call the channel Life Be Lifing. And if you like my story, if you like my content, please go ahead and hit like and subscribe. But again, I appreciate you guys for listening. Drop down any comments you have down below, and peace out.